My name is Megan, and this is Stories and Stitches. Welcome back to Flosstube episode 3. I am so glad you've joined me back here today. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has liked my videos and subscribed and commented over the last few weeks. As I mentioned in my finishes video last week, I am blown away. I was honestly expecting to I was going to be happy with like 5 views, and I cannot believe that there's already 1,000, over 1,000 of you subscribed. Thank you so much. I am thankful for each and every one of you. So thank you, and I'm so glad you're here. If you are new here today, welcome. I hope you will find something that you enjoy and that will make you stick around for a little while. And if you're returning again, thank you so much. I'm so glad to spend some time with you today. So first off, I don't know what it is, but for some reason I'm having a hard time being sure that I'm in the right spot in my camera. So I apologize if something is slightly off. It may just be me, but it took me way longer than it should have to set this up, and I'm still not convinced. But as you'll see, I am in a new spot again. This is where I wanted to be for the last video and for the video you'll see next or in a couple weeks, but there was a lot of sound. There's still a lot of noise outside. I think my neighbor is redoing their deck, but I also think that I may have found out how to edit my video to remove some of that. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping that you won't hear too much hammering. If you do, I apologize, and I will not be here again if he's hammering. But welcome. So today I'm back already. I know I was just here last week for my 2023 finishes so far, and my hope had been, I'm not really sure, I'm trying to get myself set up so that the videos will fall into sort of a natural 2 to 3 week rhythm. I'm not actually sure if filming 2 videos this close together accomplished that, but we'll see. Also, I don't know why I'm trying to figure out a rhythm when we're going into summer, and I feel like there's going to be a bit of flexibility there, but we are back, and I wanted to do my May-ish wrap-up. So I want to look at everything that I've stitched since I saw you in my whip parade. So since you saw my whip parade up until this morning, really. So yeah, that's, I think, what we're going to look at. First of all, I just want to say there were 2 channels that gave me shout outs this week. Thank you very much. The first was the Steadfast Stitcher, and the second was, I think it's Vera's Stitching Corner. So thank you so much for your mentions and shouting me out. If you are here from either of those videos, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear that's how you found me, and I hope you enjoy. So I am, so plan for this video, we're going to do sort of my May wrap up. We're going to look at some June plans and the next couple weeks of plans. And then we are going to test out a new segment. So I want to start trying to incorporate more of the stories aspect into these videos. So if you stick around to the end, it will be after all of the stitching and crafty goodness. But I want to talk about either stories I'm working on or books I'm reading, stories I'm watching, reading, playing, all of that. But that'll be at the end. So I think that is all the intro goodness. Let's get on to the stitching, I think. So I'm going to try where I can to put before pictures here as I go along. I should have them because I think everything I worked on this month was either in my last video or I used it for a challenge, in which case I would have a before picture. If I don't, I will let you know as we go along. Okay, so the first thing that I have worked on, and these are kind of in an order, but kind of not in an order. Okay, sorry, I just had to cut. I'm pretty sure you could see a pattern through when I showed my picture a second ago. So I'm hoping that that's not a bit of an awkward cut, but let's get started. So the first one I stitched on, since you saw me last, was Keep Shining. It's also called Shoot for the Moon, I think. I think on her website or Etsy it's Shoot for the Moon. But this is by Emma Congdon, her Stichrovia. And I had mentioned in my whip parade that the goal was to get this one finished in May. That did not happen. I am so close though. I considered not filming this video until this was done. But it's kind of cloudy today and I'm already a bit worried I'm losing the light, so I didn't want to risk it. So this is not finished yet, but it's close, guys. Look at that. So here's where I was last video, and this is where it is now. And all I have left is here we have ST. The T is totally done. And then there's an A and an R partially started. And then there's another S, loopy S here. And that's it. All of the back stitches done. All of the sparkly stitches is done. I don't think you can tell, but land, no, I don't think you can tell, but land has a lot of that silver that was giving me trouble last time. It was still giving me trouble. I did start using a wax, like a thread wax, which was a little bit better, but I am glad it's over. I'm glad it's done. And this one, I'm really hoping this will be done today. So should be a finish in my next video. So that was the first one. I was going to write down how many stitches I'd done on that one, but I didn't because I forgot. So that was the one I was using for part of my mania for my stitching group that I'm in, the Fandom Stitching Central. There were two challenges. One was to start 23 starts, 15 or 23 starts in May, which I didn't do. I didn't want that many starts this year. And the other one was to stitch on one project for either 15 or 23 days. So I started that one with my toy shop, which I showed you as a finish last week and in the whip parade. And then when I finished that, I could move on to a second one, and that was Keep Shining. So I worked on that for anywhere from 50 to 200-ish stitches within that period. And I did hit the 23 days. I squeaked it in on May 31st to get my 23rd day to make the stretch portion of that challenge. So as I said, I didn't do it the whole time because I started with the other one, but I got a good chunk of time on that. I felt like that was all I was working on for a little while there in May. So I'm ready to be done with that one for sure, and excited to see it done. So that was the first one. Then I had a new start. So I had my new moon, new start for May, and I started the next in my finishes parade. I showed you one. Sorry, I'm just gonna have here. I showed you the what's it? The Halloween bakery, Black Cat Bakery from Stitching with the Housewives. For my new moon, new start this month, I started Berry Bakery by Stitching with the Housewives. So that one's really nice and summery, red and white, lots of strawberries. So I started that one. It felt like a good fit for a May start, especially since it has been a very summery May for the most part here where I am. So I only stitched on this one day, I believe, and I got 260 stitches in. So this one is still in the Q snap, but that's because you can easily see everything that I have already done on it. I mean, I say, and then I'm going to struggle, but so that's as far as I've got there. I've got one canister with a bit of a ghost strawberry because I only did the one color, and that is one variegated classic colorworks color. There, I'm doing it in all the called for colors, and that pink is, if you're curious, Sea Shelly, which actually arrived just in time for me to do this start. That is my new moon, new start. All right. So my next one that I stitched on, and this one I stitched on most weekends throughout since I saw you last. So when I did my whip parade for my temperature shelf, this is, excuse me, this is, sorry about that. This is a Gothic temperature shelf by Grandmabewildin. And when I saw you last, I was a week behind. So I think I was going to have 2 full weeks of stitching to do. And I am now, how am I going to show you this? Completely caught up to now. So I did this past week's stitches this morning. So this here, these are the first 2 days of June. So I'll try to show you where I was here last time. And then this is where I am. I have finished all of May, which all these red and orange colors here, they are all hot colors. It has been very hot. These four, the last couple days here, are on my highest temperature. So that's everything over 30 degrees I'm doing in that temperature, and it has been warm for the end of May here. That's where I am with that one. I've also done some purple kind of throughout. I'm trying to do every so often do a strand somewhere to try and finish up the frame on that one. So I don't think I wrote down how many stitches I've done this month, but I am currently at 64%. Now that is counting 2% that is for, the pattern has the date here. So it has a big black box that would say the year. So 2023, and that was about 300 stitches. And I don't think I'm going to do that because I like the shelf as it is. There's going to be a rug down here, but I like the shelf as it is. So I'll probably just put the year in the bottom in the corner a little bit. So I made the decision I'm not doing that. So I marked them all off on the pattern. So it gives me a better idea. So I've done 62% worth of it in stitching, but I'm now 64% done based on the parts that I'm going to finish. All right. So that one is all caught up, as I said. Okay. The next thing I worked on was for my Christmas stitching. So I do Christmas stitching in theory on the 24th and the 25th of every month. That's when I have Christmas stitching scheduled in. I did a terrible job of it this month. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. I apologize. There's a zip. I forgot there was a zip right here. So I showed you this in my last one. I worked on Twas the Night by Hillis Designs. I'm not doing it on this fabric, and I'm changing up the colors a little bit. That's the pattern I worked on. When you saw it last, I don't know if I have a picture or not. If I have a picture, it will be here, but I might not. But when you saw it last, there wasn't a lot done. Like, I think we had like CHOL maybe, because I was like, what even is this? I discovered it's in Nicholas. But there's not much more done today. I got 54 stitches done on this today, or this month. So I have an A. So now this one says Ola. That is what we have. Ola done on this one. So I did Christmas stitching, but I only did one day. I only got one day and only 50 stitches in. But I picked it up, and it's 50 stitches more than I had done when you saw it last. So that's something. I am really hoping to get more Christmas stitching in this month. We'll talk about that a little bit more in my plans, but I hope I'll get more. I'm maybe on this one and maybe on Santa's Journey, but we'll see. We'll see. That was a bit of a pathetic amount, but it's stitches, right? And all stitches count. All of them count. So, okay. So that's 4 projects that I worked on since you saw me last, and I have one more to show you, and this one I'm almost positive I have a before picture of. So I am working on Northern Night by Dimensions. And this is a pattern that I work on kind of when I want to, but also I'm trying to work on it anytime I go camping or on a camping-esque trip. So I went last weekend, so the weekend of the 26th, I think it was. I went to a cabin at a campground where we go quite a lot. And so I spent some time working on this. I think I worked on it for most of the time we were there, of the stitching time, other than when I did temperature chart. Because I was on a roll, I was really enjoying it, and it was working really well for one of my prompts for my May challenges. So I will show you a picture here of where it was last time. And this is where it is now. Let's see if I can make this work a bit better. That's where it is now. So as you will see from the before, I had done some of this up till there, but I have filled in a lot more of that. So let's take a look at that a little bit closer. So I have this corner is very close. So this section here is very close to being done. I have some more blue in here to stitch and then a little bit more in this tree, but this corner is almost done and almost filled all the way in. I was honestly having so much fun doing this. I wanted to keep working on it. I did end up putting it down when we came home, and then because it was crunch time on my what am I trying to say? On Keep Shining for my Mania challenge, I had to get those stitches in if I wanted to meet my 23 days. I did put this one down, but hopefully I'll pick it up. I'm doing a lot of camping this summer, so hopefully I will get a lot done in that this year. I'm really excited about that. I'm having a lot of fun. That one's a lot of fun. That was everything I stitched on since the middle of May. As a bonus, I'm going to show you a bonus finish, but I just realized I forgot to grab it, so give me just a second. I will be right back. I am back, and I apologize. I touched the camera when I got back, so hopefully you haven't seen too much of a shift in what you're looking at. Sorry about that. So I showed you the last two videos, both in my whip parade and my finish parade. I showed you, sorry, I don't know what. Let's try that. Okay. I showed you the finish I had in May, which was the toy shop by Dimensions, by Jim Mitchell for Dimensions. And I mentioned that there was a companion piece that I've already stitched on that one. And a few of you had mentioned wanting to see it, and I thought it would be great to show it. So this is a previous finish, bit of a bonus. So this was Coffee Shop. I actually think there's more snow in this one. This is a much snowier scene than the other one. And that is that one there. This one gave me a lot of trouble, but I love it. I absolutely love it. That's that one. That one is Coffee Shop by Charted by Dimensions. So I now have them both done. If there's ever a third one, I will probably do that as well because I love it. I love that one so much. So I have one, you will see, so you're going to see in a couple weeks, next week or the week after, my other crafty endeavors. Whip parade. I'm not really sure. I don't remember what I'm calling it, but other crafty things. And I will mention in there that I'm going to probably start showing those as I work on them in videos. So I do have one other crafty thing I worked on, but you're not going to see it today because I don't currently have it. So that will be a surprise for the next regular Flosstube in June. So stay tuned for that. June plans for the next couple weeks. Okay. So first, I really enjoyed doing the Stitch Mania challenge, so the 23 days on a project with anywhere from 50 to 200 stitches a day on Keep Shining. I loved seeing the progress I got. I loved that I was able to finish Toy Shop as part of that. But I feel like I didn't get to stitch on as many projects as I wanted to. And I didn't get to do as much. I stitched on things I wanted to, but there were a few days I wanted to kind of just pick something up on the whim and didn't have time between a busy schedule and other things I've been working on. And Mania, I didn't have time to do it. So I want to do a little more sweewee. So if you're not familiar, that's stitch what you want when you want this month. But I still want to do the challenges and prompts where I can for the Fandom Stitching Central. So there's weekly prompts. I'll talk about it in a couple minutes, but there's weekly prompts, monthly prompts, and then a challenge. So I do still want to work on those, but I am really looking forward to the flexibility of picking up what I want a little bit more. So if that makes sense, a little more flexibility in my stitching for this month. So that's one part focus, sweetie. Second, I have my sort of normally scheduled out stitchy days, spooky stitching, which today is the first day of that. And then the next is next week, I think, the 13th. So I'm going to do some spooky stitching. I think I'm going to work on my Autumn Lane one, Tonight We Ride. I didn't bring my plans to show you just because I figured there'd be too much showing there. I just wanted to talk about them, and you'll see next month or next video whether I actually follow through on any of these. So that'll be for spooky stitching, and then I have Christmas stitching the 24th and 25th, which, depending on how the videos fall, may or may not be before you see my next regular Flosstube. So those are some things for June. I'm probably going to work on, as I mentioned, either Twas the Night or Santa's Journey for the Christmas ones. I then have one for sure new start with New Moon New Start, possibly two, because I kind of want to do a start of summer solstice new start, but I have some ideas for what I might do, but I haven't quite settled on it. I also want to keep some start rooms available for July, for Christmas in July. So we'll see, but one new start for sure. I debated showing it now, but I think I'll wait and show it to you when I started. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, you'll see probably one or two new starts this month. And then my third plan in my plans is the Fandom Stitching Central challenges. So there are a few challenges this month, some extra ones. So we have weekly prompts every week. In May, there were a few less of those because of Mania. But there are some weekly prompts. Those I'll see where they lead me. Hopefully be able to either get stitching in or get some points with penalty stitching on those. And there are monthly prompts, which I'm actually going to go through and talk about in a little bit more detail right now and what my plans are with those, because those will probably direct a lot of my plans, kind of, we'll see. And then there's also this month we're having a finishes challenge, which I am excited about because the bonus of not getting to finish Keep Shining in May is that I can finish it in June now for the finish challenges. So the rules are that you have to have at least 50 stitches to go into it to finish it. It has to be finished in June. And then there's also, so that's one. And we can also count parts of Sal's as finishes. So for my temperature Sal, I'll be able to count each week as a finish, which I'm excited about. And then my Greenhouse of Oddities Sal, which you will notice was not in this video. I had every intention and plan of having the framing done in time for the first planting, and then I was going to work on the first planting. And then that didn't happen. I didn't get the framing done. Then I was going to take the first planting and the framing with me when I went camping this past weekend, and I forgot it. I left the entire project at home. So that didn't happen. Now there's two plantings. So now not only do I not have the frame done, but I'm two plantings behind. For the Haunted Library, I was pretty much on top of it. I didn't have the frame done right away, but I was pretty much on top of it the whole time, and I'm already two plantings behind. So this finish challenge will give me some incentive, extra incentive, to get caught up as much as I can on that cell. I'm not going to put too much pressure, but as much as I can. So I'm going to hopefully pick that up this week to at least finish the frame. And then if you remember in my whip parade, I had hoped that I could maybe finish Be a Pineapple by Hands On Design last month. I didn't, but I might try to work on that one. I might try to work on Tattered Teddy to a finish. Maybe, maybe not. And also the other thing that can count for this challenge is page finishes on full coverage. I took a look at mine this morning and none of mine are that close to a page finish, and I've been working kind of cross-country-ish on them all lately, so we'll see. There's one or two that are possible, but I do want to work on my full coverages and big projects more this month. I missed them a lot last month when I didn't work on them at all, barely. So those are a high focus, but I don't know if I'll get page finishes done. All right, so on to the monthly prompts and a little bit of what I want to do. So first prompt is 2001 stitches on any piece. I'm not going to give you the story part of the prompt, but if you're interested, the focus, fandom focus this year is Lord of the Rings. So all of our prompts are based on Lord of the Rings and the books and side books and movies. So the 2001 has to do with, I think, when the first movie came out, I believe. So that's where the 2001 is. But I'm not going to give you all the prelude. But if you are interested, you can go check it out. It's a great group. It's a lot of fun. There's no pressure. You don't have to get any of the prompts done. It's just a lot of fun. I digress. So 2001 decision on any project. We'll see. I'm hoping to get at least that done on a few. So, and this one can be, there's a few rules about where you can double dip points that I'm not going to get into, but I'm hoping to get that prompt done. Second one is 500 stitches on something with a brotherhood or sisterhood in it. And for the longest time, I couldn't figure out what I was going to do, but I think Tonight We Ride has 3 witches, which they could be a sisterhood. So I think I'm going to count that one for that. Then I have 900 on a project with gray or silver in it. So I'm hoping to do Beloved for that one. That's the hope, because I miss working on that one. So I really want to get into Beloved for that one. 200 into a project you don't know how you'll finish, which at this point I don't know what I'm going to put in there, but I have a lot of projects that I don't know how I'm going to finish. So I'm pretty sure I can get 200 stitches on something and count it for that one. So that one's not going to be a problem. I should be able to get that one done. 400 into a dark piece, which I'm not 100% sure, but I'm kind of leaning towards Beloved because it's all dark colors, or Tonight We Ride because it's all black. So maybe that one. 800 into a piece that starts with A. I don't think I have any pieces that start with A, and I don't currently think that either of my new starts start with A either. So that may be one that I just skip on by. 500 stitches into a project with something swift in it, which I have like a lot of options that I've written down for this. At first I thought I didn't, but then I was like, well, there's a river in Northern Night. I have a leopard. Leopards are pretty swift. My snow leopard, he might come out this month. I'm like Gamer Nouveau. All kinds of video game characters are swift. They move super fast. And I was also thinking that a good choice would be to use Greenhouse of Oddities because there's a little owl in it. We all know owls are super swift. They fly fast. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Lots of options for that though, so I'm pretty sure I should be able to get that prompt. 200 on a project that is faithless. Now, faithless makes sense for the rest of the prompt. Like if you had seen the quote, like what it's based on, but I cannot think of a project that would fit with faithless. Now you can kind of explain and figure out how you do it and do your prompts in creative ways. So if anyone has any ideas of how I could sort of swing faithless to fit with any of my pieces, I am open to suggestions in the comments. I'm gonna keep thinking about that one, but at the moment haven't come up with something I can do with that. 400 on a project that has knees, which really I could swing for any that have people in it because they all have knees, but I'm leaning towards doing Be a Pineapple because there's some flamingos in there and they have knees. Excuse me, sorry about that. I'm gonna grab a drink. I keep choking on my oxygen. Rocks in the air. There's 2 more prompts for this month for monthly. One is 600 into a project with a king. I don't know what I'm gonna do for that one. I don't really have any that are a king. We'll see. And then 700 into a project that is small or has small things in it. So we'll see. One of my potential new starts is small, but I don't know if it'll have 700 stitches in it. But I could also work on either, I was thinking chocolate on everything because it has chocolate chips in it and they're small, or my Gamer Nouveau because it has a lot of small little characters from video games in it. So those are my June plans. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I pretty much need 2 to 3 months to get in everything I want to stitch in June. So that will be interesting, but My approach to plans is to make them. They will direct my stitching, but if they don't get done, they don't get done. None of these are set in stone. None of these are have to-dos, with the exception maybe of temperature library, because I really like to keep on top of that. They're just to direct it. They're just for fun, right? And just see, I'll see where the wind takes me. Oh, sorry, and where the prompts take me. So, plans for the next video. The next video you will see after this one will be my other crafty projects. That will either be next week from when you're seeing this or the week after. I haven't quite decided. It depends on when I land on for my next regular Flosstube, which will either be the 20th. The 20th, I think, is the Tuesday, and that's what I'm aiming for. That is my current goal. That's where I have it penciled in on the calendar, but I have a busy weekend before that. So it's Father's Day. I'm going to Toronto to see a play, so I'm not, the timing may not work on that. So the regular one will either be the 20th or the 27th, I believe. That is where we are headed for the next month or so. All right. So that is everything that I have worked on in the last couple weeks. All my plans. That is the end of the stitchy section of this video. So if you are here and all you're interested in is the stitchy section, then thank you so much for being here. You are free to head off and watch other things. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad I got to spend time with you today. For everyone else who is interested, who wants to stick around, thank you as well. I am going to move on to the stories segment of this video. So in the stories section, I think I'm going to see how it goes. It's a new segment. I'm testing it out. I want to see sort of where the wind takes me. I kind of think I'll include what I've been working on. So my own writing, my own creative projects, where I am on those, some ideas, books, movies, TV shows I'm loving right now, podcasts, and any games I'm playing or anything else story related that I feel like sharing. I probably won't share everything I read. I won't share everything I play. I definitely won't share everything I watch, but this will just be things I'm enjoying and want to share with you all. So for this first segment, the first thing, so my own writing. So I had mentioned in my work pray that I'm working on a novel. It is a mystery. It's not a mystery, the type of novel I'm working on. I am writing a mystery. And I am currently in the editing stage of that. It's my first novel. It's the first novel I have finished from idea to editing stage. Like this, it was a pretty big deal just to get through it. It is way, 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 way too many words, too long for what it needs to be. So I'm working on cutting that down. It got paused a little bit this year for various personal work, day job related issues, but I am hoping to pick that back up again in June. So that is a big goal for June, is to start trucking along on that one again. So hopefully I'll have a better update next video. I have been playing with the idea of starting a podcast, a fictional podcast. And I had an idea that I'm working on that I'm still kind of thinking through, but I've recently had another idea that I'm really excited about, So I am not going to tell you more about that. It might have mystery elements. It might have light spooky elements, maybe romance. We'll see. But I'm excited about that one. So I may start digging into that in June, because that one is, sometimes you gotta chase the thing. Gotta chase the thing that strikes your fancy, right? So those are where I'm working on for writing, and other creative projects. And then this channel, I've been loving getting this going. So, so books that I've been loving. May was a bit of a half and half month. So I finished a few books I'd been reading for a while. I got halfway through one that got returned to the library. that I'll probably tell you about in a future video because I'm actually really enjoying that one. But the one that I did want to mention, you may have already noticed, it's hanging out behind me over here. Look at that. So this is 6 Sweets Under. I am hoping that is the right direction for you. I think everything has been the right direction so far, but 6 Sweets Under by Sarah Fox. This is a cozy mystery, which I love. I love them. They tend to be pretty quick reads. I find they can be hit and miss, at least the ones I pick up, but I really enjoyed this one. So the main character works in a chocolate shop and she makes chocolates, and someone in her very small, very idyllic town, it's got like Venice vibes, but not really, someone gets murdered and she gets drawn in her attempt to solve the mystery. I really enjoyed this one. I picked it up on a whim in my library, from like they do like a shelf that has random books they've curated on it. Picked it up as a whim and I loved it. I loved it. It's in her series, A True Confections Mystery. So that one I will be picking up more of in that series. Definitely recommend if you, if you enjoy cozy mysteries, or if you would like to try out a cozy mystery. It's a good one. And then, I'm sorry, I feel like I keep catching myself saying, I'm trying not to. The next thing I want to talk about is video games. So no, that's not it. Not video games at all. So what I'm watching. I've been watching a few things I'm enjoying actually. I have been trying to finish up. I don't know if any of you watched Sleepy Hollow. It's not on the air anymore. I'm watching it on, I don't remember, Disney Plus maybe? That one I'm enjoying. A change happened at the end of the most recent series I watched that we'll see. I'm not too sure of, but that I'm really enjoying. I might talk about that more once I finished the series. And I started watching National Treasure, the show. I have always loved the National Treasure movies. I know people probably love them or dislike them, everything in between, but I enjoy them. I think they're a lot of fun. And my family used to always watch them together. So I am really enjoying the show so far. I'm 3 episodes in, I think, 3 or 4 episodes in. So that's been a lot of fun. I may update you on that later on. But the big thing that I'm excited for right now is I love the TV show Nancy Drew. It's a CW show. Sorry. It's a CW show. I watch it on W Network in Canada. And it was one of those shows that when it started, I was very hesitant. I was really worried. I've always been a Nancy Drew girl. I loved Nancy Drew for as long as I could, from when I very first started reading the books when I was a kid. And so I was hesitant and I was really worried that it was going to be terrible. And it's definitely, I know a lot of people find it a different vibe than the books, but I have taken in so much Nancy Drew, adjacent Nancy Drew content over the years that I feel like it fits in well. I feel like it does it justice personally. I love it. And the final season, which I am very sad about, that it's the final season, but the final season started this week. So I have not yet watched the first episode because I think it airs today on W Network or tomorrow. So I haven't watched it yet, but I'm very excited about that. I'm very sad that it's the final season, but that I will most likely talk about more this summer because I'm excited for that. Games. As you'll see, I also have my Switch over here. I was kind of trying to do a little vibe, right? I've been on a major Switch kick this last little while. I've been really getting back into playing games. I enjoy cozy games, casual games. I enjoy lots of different types of games. The big one that I wanted to mention that I have been loving is My Time at Portia. It is a farming type sim. You're a builder, so it's kind of a farming sim, casual. It's got a fun story. It's set in a post-apocalyptic world that has happened long after, remember what the timeline is supposed to be, something like 50 years after the apocalyptic event happened. So society is trying to put itself back together, and figuring out how it deals with all of the stuff that's still around from that old previous world. and you mine ancient ruins, and the things you find in ancient ruins are things like CDs, like data discs, or CDs are things you find. Um, it's just a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun. It's nice and relaxing. I find I can play it for half an hour or 40 minutes at the end of a day, and it really helps me unwind. It's got a fun story in it. The second game from the series, or in by the same developers, are coming out, or is out on PC already, and it'll be coming out on Switch shortly. It's My Time at Sandrock, and I'm excited for that, but kind of really want to try and finish My Time at Portia first. So that's probably the one I've been playing the most, along with a little bit of Animal Crossing I've gotten back into, and a lot of demos. I've been playing a lot of demos. So yeah, so that is everything story related that I have been really enjoying and that I wanted to share with you today. I hope that you have enjoyed this segment. Let me know if you've enjoyed it. If you haven't enjoyed it, you can let me know as well. I will probably continue it, I'm thinking. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. What if I am, we'll see. We'll see if I enjoy it, if I want to do it again. Um, I enjoy sharing this stuff. It's all kind of part of the things that I find relaxing and that I love. And I'll often do either at the same time as I'm stitching or in adjacent to my stitching. So I hope you enjoyed it too. And I'll try and keep these sections at the end so that if you're not interested, you can just skip them. So I think that is everything for today. I'm not 100% sure how long this video is because I had to stop a couple times and forgot to press pause instead, but I hope you enjoyed it here. Please remember, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. I'd love you to stick around and come back and comment. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know if you were stitching on something today while you watched. Let me know what you were stitching on. I love to see new patterns as much as I probably don't need any. So I hope that you have a wonderful day. I hope you get some stitching in, and I will see you next time. Bye!